I'm back! Hello, hello! Welcome back to my channel. I'm Samantha Winona and this is Winona Reads. Today I'm going to be doing a birthday book haul. I have about, I don't know, maybe 20, 25 books. Let's get started. So the first book is The Extraordinary Young Women of the First Official Jewish Transport to Auschwitz by Heather Dune McAdam. And for some reason, I am super into like World War II reads. Normally, I am really into historical fiction, but I'm trying to branch out and get more into nonfiction, especially when I think about keeping books for my kids later on down the road. I don't want everything to be fiction. This honestly sounded amazing, and I've seen nothing but praise for it. So a little bit about it. On March 25th, 1942, nearly 1,000 young unmarried Jewish women, many of them teenagers, boarded the train, believing that they were going to work in a factory for a few months, and they were actually sent to Auschwitz. It is just a compilation of the stories of them, interviews with historians, survivors. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one, and I'm actually thinking I might start this month. Next book I have here is The Comeback by Ella Berman. It is about a girl, Grace Turner, who disappears right before she is to accept a Golden Globe. It's actually longer than I thought it was. It's almost 400 pages, but it has a little reader's guide in the back, which I kind of love those. But yeah, this looks really good, and I'm super excited. I'm going to be excited about all of them, obviously. The next book I have is The Beauty in Breaking by Michelle Harper. And this is about an African-American emergency room doctor, and so it just goes into her story. It is a memoir, so it goes into her profession, but also the background of her life, and I think it's rated pretty high. And as far as memoirs go, for some reason I just like listening to other people's stories. A majority of the time that I read memoirs, they're usually through audiobooks, but this one seemed for some reason to resonate with me, and I am excited to give this one a try. Next book I have is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This is the first book in, I believe, what is a trilogy. I know I'm so far behind in in the YouTube game. I have not read this series yet, and I've been wanting to for such a long time. I actually took this book out of the library probably two years ago, and I ended up going right back. I was just so off focus between having a new baby and having toddlers, twin toddlers at the time, so I never got around to it, and I ended up just going right back, and I was kind of bummed. So I did decide to pick this up because I want to give the whole trilogy a try. Haven't heard anything but good things about it, so I'm hoping it works out for me. This one I don't know anything about. This is The Book of Accidents by Chuck Wendig, and I literally only picked it up for this month just for like the horror aspect, and I felt like for the season I needed some scary things, and I really haven't gotten into scary yet. The mom and dad both had spooky scenarios happen in their childhood, and now they have a daughter together, and they moved back to the hometown, and now, oh no, not a daughter, a son. Anyway, and spooky stuff starts happening to their kid. So I'm interested to see what the family dynamic is and how it progresses. I actually I don't know if this is thriller or horror, but I don't think I've ever read a horror book. I know I've read a few thrillers, but if this is horror, I might start this soon too, because I'm interested to see what that writing style is like. The next book I got was Sparks Like Stars by Nadia Hashimi, and the reason I got this is because I saw something in relation to if you love the book The Stationery Shop, which I also have. Let me get it. Okay. So somebody had said if you love the stationery shop, then you're gonna love Sparks Like Stars. And it's a new release. I did look a little bit into it, and it did say that it was in regards to a girl growing up in a prominent family, and then something happens to her family. She ends up being adopted and grows up in a completely different lifestyle than what she expected. And then, I don't know, however many years down the road, she meets someone from her past. So I'm very, very interested. This was in my cart on Amazon for a very long time. Sorry if the lighting changed. My battery died and it's still not fully charged, so I'll probably have to do this more than a few times. But, got a glass of wine. Yeah. And let's get back into it. Okay. One of the next books that I got is a sequel to one that I already had. So I got The Secret Keeper of, I believe, Jaipur? I probably should have checked that out. From Alka Joshi. I have The Henna Artist. I haven't read this one yet, but the amount of praise that I have seen for both of these, I'm super excited. So this one actually follows one of the characters in The Henna Artist, goes more into his relationships, so I am excited to see where that goes. Again, I'm going to be excited about all of these, so excuse my lack of adjectives. I think I'm going to need to steady up a little bit. The next book I got is Exhalation by Ted Chiang, if that's how you pronounce it. It is a New York Times bestseller, and I haven't seen that many people on BookTube pick this up. But I do enjoy science fiction and short stories. I really don't know anything about any of the stories in here, which, I mean, I'd kind of rather it be that way. I don't want to have expectations going into something. I just want to give it a try and see what it's like. Next one is a little bit crinkled because, you know, sometimes book mail doesn't come the way you want it to. This is The Troop by Nick Cutter, another best-selling author. I think this one is the one that said it's like Lord of the Flies kind of, but make it horror. It is a troop of boys that goes camping for the weekend, and then something scary happens. And I'm pretty sure this is the one that I've heard is pretty gory. So again, perfect for like this time of year. I'm not used to reading horror, but we'll see. We'll see. Next one is The Romanov Empress by C.W. Gortner. I have to admit that I have a thing for like Gilded Age historical fiction, but I've never read anything about the Romanovs. The thing that made me think about reading something like this was actually Black Widow, which I know makes no sense, but just the Russian like background, and I was like, oh, you know what? I remember writing down a couple of Romanov titles, and so I kind of just looked at what had the best ratings on Goodreads, and I believe this was one of the higher ones. Another good fall must-have. I have seen this on BookTube for 2 years now, and I don't know why I haven't picked it up sooner. It's Night Film by Marisha Petzel. Is it Pestle or Peschel? It is about a 20-year-old, and they rule her death a suicide, and a journalist starts digging a little bit deeper because she doesn't believe that that's in fact what happened. It has different formats, which I thought was pretty cool. Let me see if I can find one. See? So, I don't know. It looks pretty cool. This is actually during the Gilded Age. This is Carnegie's Maid by Marie Benedict. I have not read her other work, but I do believe I have the other Einstein. Yes, I do have that one somewhere. This is, I believe, a love story, historical fiction about Andrew Carnegie and his maid. It's one of my favorite kinds of historical fiction is Gilded Age. Between Gilded Age and like World War II, those are my two like go-tos. The next book is Bride of the Sea. I'm gonna say this wrong. By, is it Eamon Quota? Sorry. A couple splits up after their first child, and one is going to be living in Saudi Arabia and the other one is going to be living in America. And I just find that fascinating how, like, I want to see where the family dynamic falls as far as like raising a child and how you would do that overseas, let alone a love relationship, with your spouse. I think this is actually a debut. It says a spellbinding debut of colliding cultures, immigration, religion, and family. An intimate portrait of loss and healing. That sounds really good. Next one I got is a classic, Slaughterhouse-Five. I don't know how I haven't read this yet, honestly, between my literature courses at UAlbany and just the fact that I tend to love short classics like this. I really don't know how I haven't picked this up yet. This is the anniversary edition, I believe, 50th anniversary. I think this one was recommended for those who like 1984 by George Orwell. That one to try. Speaking of George Orwell, I have Down and Out in Paris and London by George Orwell. Make sure you can get that cover because I'm a little obsessed with it. And I think these are just stories they're like loosely based on him, I think. He portrays the adventures of a penniless British writer. It goes into like poverty and adventures and just like life lessons, I think, while also having a little bit of humor about society and just, you know, learning lessons about work, food, and life. I did not realize that 1984 is by George Orwell, and that is a pen name, and I never knew that until I looked this one up to get a little bit of insight. I don't know how I didn't know that. I love his writing. Next one I have, which I wouldn't say he's one of my favorite authors, but I do enjoy seeing how his writing style changes a little bit over the course of his life. This is The Crack Up by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I did, of course, read The Great Gatsby like multiple times throughout school. Again, this is the time period that I like in my roaring 20s, and I also read one of the books on Zelda, his wife, Zelda Fitzgerald, and I just find them a fascinating dynamic as far as a couple. The fact that they had children kind of scares me. Anyway, oh, so this says it's also a little bit of a self-portrait about the rise and fall within his stories and I don't know what to expect going into this one, but I am interested. It has really tiny writing, which kind of scares me. Looks like a little bit of like a diary. Sorry, I never took the time to look at this. This is gonna be super interesting. That one might be more of like a winter read, just because that one will take me a while. It's not gonna be an easy read. Next one I got is The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. This one I have seen a couple of people list for this time of year as far as the witches. This is about a witch who has different, I don't know if it's different powers during different seasons, but each season means something different to her. As far as what she's able to control and learn about herself and her powers. And you know what's funny too is a couple of these books all have the same character named Clara. Didn't realize that. Next one, For the Wolf by Hannah Witten. Also a good one for fall/winter. Oh yeah, this one sounds good. So dark fantasy about a legend where like the second born daughter is supposed to go into the woods and meet this wolf, and it turns out there's like a curse on him that he's not actually a wolf, he's a man. It has like a magical realism kind of feel. This one honestly was a cover buy. Next book I got is The Lost Diary of M by Paul Wolfe. And this is, oh, it's also another debut, which I did not know. It's about a Georgetown socialite called Mary Meyer who had relations with JFK, also was married, and then I believe divorced to a CIA agent. So I think it's just going to be interesting to see the parallels between some of the stories about JFK. I read The Summer I Met Jack by Michelle Gable. That one was really good. I have a thing for like the whole JFK time too. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, my intro said that I don't have like niches. I definitely do. The next book I got is A Sky Painted Gold by Laura Wood. I don't remember whose channel it was, but I did see that it was a recommendation for someone who likes Gilmore Girls in regards to like a Lorelai aspect of having like rich parents, a socialite, but maybe not falling into what is meant for someone in that spot. Like she doesn't want to be a part of that maybe. I might be way off. Anything that is recommended as far as Gilmore Girls, I'm interested. So I want to see if it's a good recommendation. And it's a floppy one, which I love, and it's 300 pages-ish, which I think it'll be a good quick read. next one I got is A Pure Heart by Raja Hasib. I just remember seeing it come up with Bride of the Sea, and I thought that I would give it a try because I do want to find things that not everyone else is talking about. And I have not seen this at all on, honestly, Instagram or BookTube, so that could be a good or bad thing. I mean, it has blurbs from NPR, BuzzFeed, and The New Yorker, so I feel like it's definitely not going to be for the worse. Ooh, okay. A Pure Heart. It says 2 Egyptian sisters, divergent fates. One dies in a suicide bombing aftermath, and the other one struggles with death, finding their place, you know, in society. I believe the sister that lives travels from Egypt to America. I think there's going to be a lot to unpack in this, and stories like this are the ones that really resonate with me, which is why I have no problem spending money on them, because it's something that I think I will eventually pick back up as far as like rereading, and something that can be diverse for my kids when they're old enough to read stories like this as well, to see how easy we have it. I mean, even if it is fiction, something you get fictional ideas from real life stories. So I'm excited for this one. I think it'll be a good one. So maybe I'll do a reading vlog for this one because I've not seen many people read this or review this, and I would love to. And the next one's gonna be The Gilded Wolves Trilogy by Roshani Chokshi. First of all, I don't know why I haven't read the third one yet, because once I read The Gilded Wolves, I ran to my library and picked up The Silvered Serpents and devoured it within like 48 hours. But I feel like that was a little bit of time ago, and I feel like I need to reread the first 2 before I'm sure I don't, but I have that feeling. Like anytime a new book comes out, even if they're different locations, same characters, I always feel like I need to reread the entire series. So we'll see. She is a New York Times bestselling author. I also have her children's series, or the first book in the children's series. Basically, I'm a book collector and I have a lot of books to get to. One is The Bronzed Beasts. So this one actually came out the week of my birthday, and I was super excited to pre-order. But again, I wanted not only to reread the first 2 books before getting to this, but I wanted to have a physical copy, and I wanted them all to match and be hardcover. So first of all, thank you, the publishers, for making all of them match in height and everything else. Because to some people that makes a big difference. I would be one of those people. I don't know anything about it besides they're up to their usual trickery and thievery, as well as their relationships, which I can't wait to see if they develop any further, especially with Severin, because there's always so much tension in these, which is why I'm drawn to them. Honestly, not only did I want to spend the money on these because I felt like it was a good trilogy and I want to have it just for like future rereads, but the author is so sweet. I follow her on Instagram and I've asked her questions more than once through DM, and she's answered every time. And I don't know why that just resonates with me as like a true good person, that she takes the time out to answer people, and I just have a lot of respect for her. And the fact that she's so young and she has all these books, that's like my dream. I'm just happy for her. I think that was it. That was what, 26 books, I think I'm done. I have another video coming soon. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please like the video if you liked the content, and please subscribe to my channel so I can start building it up a little bit. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good night, a good week, a good day, all of it. Cheers.